Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here, and I'm going to read today from John chapter 20, verse 18. This is part of the resurrection story. Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her. This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. So this message is coming to you on Holy Saturday, the day before Easter. We haven't yet gotten to Easter and the resurrection, but we are almost there. And this scripture, of course, is from the Easter passage that we'll be reading on Easter Sunday. But I invite us to take a moment before we get to our Easter celebration, if you haven't already, to reflect in a couple of ways. One is that I invite you to reflect on the last 6 weeks of Lent and to ask a question based on Mary's words here. She said, "I have seen the Lord." And I wonder where you have seen the Lord over the past several weeks throughout your celebration of Lent, your observance of Lent. I wonder where you have felt Jesus' presence, where you have felt drawn by Christ in some direction or another, particularly as we have been asking that question together, with whom is my heart? And so I just invite you to reflect a little bit around that question. Where have you seen Jesus? Where has Jesus been present for you over this past season? And then I invite a particular Holy Week reflection. Again, if you haven't already done this, some of you have done this by participating in the services throughout these last few days. But if you haven't yet, I invite you to read through one of the passion narratives in one or more of the Gospels. And by that, I mean that time from the Last Supper of Jesus through the crucifixion. And through that kind of in-between time, there's not a lot in Scripture about that. It's usually pretty short, that in-between time. But from the Last Supper of Jesus and the disciples through just before the Easter account in any of the Gospels. You could also do this if you are less inclined. I think reading Scripture is always really good and really important. But another way to do this could be by watching an account. Some of them, of course, are quite fictionalized, but they can still help us enter into that story of Jesus' passion. Some of the movies that we have about this. There are also musical representations or artistic representations of many of the events that we have that are, of course, from Scripture. You can also find a Scripture version that is particularly appealing to you. If you've never looked at the Message version of Scripture, that would be another way to do that. So any of these ways are great. But I invite you to reflect again. And as you are reading or watching or listening or observing this story again, letting yourself letting this story in to you, to your body, mind, heart, spirit, asking again, where do you see Jesus? Where are you seeing Christ in the midst of this? And it can be literally in Scripture, but also it can be in your awarenesses or your feelings or in the sharing that you might do about this with someone else. And I also encourage you, as you're doing this, reading this, watching, listening, whatever it may be, to ask yourself, where is God's heart throughout this story? Where is Jesus' heart throughout the story? Where are the hearts of other people through this story? Just as another way to engage with the questions that we've been asking through Lent, and to kind of continuing to practice, allowing that question to work on us in ways that affect us and move us and change us, and so that we might follow God's heart, Jesus' heart, even more closely. I invite you to do all of this, and I hope to see you on Easter Sunday in some way. Of course, we live stream our services. We'll have a 6 a.m. service, early sunrise service. And then our 10 o'clock will be there, of course. And I hope that you will invite a friend. It's not too late to do that, and to encourage a neighbor or a loved one or a friend to come and join our Easter celebration on Sunday. Know that over these next couple of weeks, we have some other things happening as well. We will start a new worship series around our Eastertide worship series. A new small group will start. A seasonal group will start on Sunday mornings the week following Easter. On the 27th, we also have a couple of really important things happening. Our children will be presenting a musical in worship that day on the 27th. It's called The Tale of the Three Trees. You might be familiar with the book that it is based on. It's been around for a long time. The children have been working really hard along with Mr. Tom, and I know you'll want to come and be led by them in worship and support them in this too. After worship on the 27th, we'll be having a congregational meeting. Our leadership and discipleship boards will be guiding us during this time. This is meant to be the first of regular quarterly congregational meetings led by them to share where we are and how we're moving into our vision, mission, and values, where some of our challenges are and our celebrations are. And so you're encouraged to come to that. That's available in person or on Zoom, and you can find the Zoom link in the happenings here in the church calendar, etc. We will be recording it, and so we'll make that Zoom recording available to you the following week. On the first Sunday of May, May 5th, May 4th, we'll also be having a newcomers group will start that day. So if you are newer to the congregation, or know somebody who is, we encourage you to participate in this. It is, we'll do this over the course of about 4 weeks, right after church, 11:30 to 12:30. And this will be, I hope, a wonderful orientation to the church and a way to kind of find your way into the congregation a little bit more, understand more of what we are about here at Princeton United Methodist Church. Friends, I am so excited to celebrate Easter, to celebrate resurrection and life with you once again. It is always a joy for me to be on this journey with you. Remember that you were created for joy, created for the fullness of life. You are enough because God is enough. Thanks be to God. We'll see you soon.